Are you excited?
Yes.
About what?
Elephants.
Why is that?
They're big.
And today we're going to...
See them.
So it's about 7 a.m., probably earlier, and we're grabbing some breakfast. We're at the meeting point, and we're gonna see some elephants today. Going to the elephant sanctuary thing. I don't know. I guess this is our ride in. It's Ryan and Sara, expats that live in Cambodia, and we're in Mondulkiri, one of the most majestic provinces in all of Cambodia. We boarded the truck and set out for the Elephant Valley project headquarters, where we were put into another truck and carted deeper into the valley. Apparently the day before there had been some wild elephants in the area where the EVP elephants usually hang out, so they moved the EVP elephants to another part of the valley because they didn't want the wild elephants being all wild around the EVP elephants. I think I need to take a step back and explain more. The EVP was founded in 2006. At that time, they were just providing veterinarian care and some education to the people that owned elephants. Yes, a bunch of people in Mondulkiri own elephants. Mondulkiri is home to the Banong people. It's believed that they've lived in this area for 2,000 years. The majority of Banong are animist. That essentially means they believe that spirits inhabit objects, plants, and non-human animals. They are deeply connected to nature, and for a long time they used elephants to help them live. Some were used to lift heavy objects, to pull trees out of the forest, to assist in farming. This, of course, is less common now. Farming equipment has taken over the elephant's job. Some elephants went into the tourism industry, but that's not ideal for an elephant. This is where the EVP steps in. They started buying or renting elephants from locals that no longer need them. Maybe the elephant is too old to work, or maybe it's just not financially viable to keep an elephant anymore. Maybe it's too dangerous. They want to get the elephants out of the workforce, and they act as a sort of retirement center for them. They have a 1,500 hectare natural elephant habitat, a sanctuary where elephants can be elephants, with minimal outside interference.
That sounds like an elephant.
After about an hour of walking, we found this beautiful creature.
About a 40-minute hike. Oh my god.
This man right here is the Mahut, the elephant's keeper. His job is to simply follow the elephant around and make sure it doesn't get into some shit. He stays with it all day, and then at night they tie the elephants to a tree or something so they don't run off to an unsafe area. In the morning they let them loose again, and the elephant spends the entire day doing what it wants, which is mostly eating and drinking.
And here's the reason why we asked you this morning not to bring any food. Because you can see she's a chunky girl.
This is Robin, she's our guide for the day. Oh, and this is Ji Trong, a 50-something-year-old 3.4-ton female who once worked in farming and then in the tourism industry. You could argue that she still works in the tourism industry, but the difference between her old job and this one, well, she doesn't really have a job now. Before, she would be rowed, she'd be bathed, she'd be hand-fed by tourists. While some of these tour operators are calling themselves rehabilitation centers or elephant rescue centers, the EVP doesn't believe that the elephants should have a schedule made by humans. Their elephants bathe when they want to bathe, they eat when they want to eat. Although there are exceptions. A little deeper into the forest and we find Ningwan. Because Ningwang is older, she requires more care. A common way an elephant dies in the wild is by going through their sets of teeth and wearing them down until they no longer have teeth to chew their food. They can't get the nutrients out of their food because they can't chew it up.
So again, this is how we know the condition of her teeth, because you can see she's eating, but none of it is chewed up. This is Haknium, and he's bringing her some cooked rice. The cooked rice has salt, sugars, tamarinds in it, some cooked sweet potatoes, and then also some cucumbers to keep her hydrated. And she gets this supplement twice a day. So we cook the rice in our base camp and then bring it out to her in the forest wherever she is twice a day. So Ningwan, she also is a very Banong-owned elephant, doing those traditional jobs, farming, transportation, maybe pulling some logs out of the forest. her original owner had 11 sons. So she was split between 11 different families. And so that was actually causing quite a bit of work for Ningwan, as well as some disagreements among the family because they couldn't decide where she should be and who could be working her when. And they decided just to resolve all the issues, they were going to send her to EVP. And so EVP bought her, and she is a full EVP elephant. Always be here now on retirement. And actually, her best friend that we just saw is G-Train, and they used to work together in their previous life. And so everyone was like, oh, what's going to happen? Are they going to remember each other? And they did remember each other. So they greeted each other, and they took themselves off into the corner, and they spent all morning talking and catching up. And so now it's really nice to watch them be out here in the forest together, because they do still like to have those little catch-up sessions.
We spent over an hour just hanging around the elephants, watching them do their thing, learning more about them, and just enjoying the nature. We've done a few elephant adventures in the past, but this one was different. It was cool to have to hike to find the elephants. I love that they just roam around and they don't have a set schedule. These aren't wild elephants, but they're pretty close, and they're also happy elephants. You can go to the EVP's website and read about their adventures. This one involves a male elephant that was used in the tourism industry. The bull was in must. Basically, it's a month-long breeding period where males get horny and super aggressive. It wanted to be with the female elephants, and it snapped on its owner when he tried to move it away, knocking him to the ground and stomping him to death. The male elephant and a female elephant ran off into the woods together, and the EVP were helping to try and subdue him before he could hurt other people. I mean, the story is pretty intense. They get charged by the elephant, and it starts chasing vehicles and heading towards the village. They have to lure him away by riding motorbikes around him and getting him to chase them. Then they start shooting fireworks out of the back of a truck as he's chasing it. They're shooting them over his head to scare him into running back into the forest. They succeed, but the story doesn't end there. That night, the elephant goes into the village and starts destroying things. He destroys 6 houses. Families are running wild through the dark. Ultimately, the police and army make the decision to kill it. They shoot the elephant in its legs as it's charging another house.
Hey, baby. Hey, sweetie. Ooh.
Check out the Elephant Valley Project, sign up for a tour, maybe even stay at their lodge. They're doing good things for not only these amazing animals, but also for the community. Thanks for watching, take care, comb your hair, I'm out.
Don't match up, no love.